Voice and data can be sent through signals, and there are two types of signals: analog and digital. These signals can be represented using sine waves for analog signal and pulses for digital signal. How are analog and digital signal similar and different? For instance, if the source is a piano note, the hammer hits the keyboard and sound is produced. For both signals, electric signal is converted into electromagnetic waves for transmission. These waves are transmitted in the atmosphere. The receiver receives the waves and converts them back into electric signal. While for the differences, in analog signal, mechanical energy is converted to electrical signal by a sensor, while the analog to digital converter converts mechanical energy into electrical pulses. Analog signal is amplified, while digital signal is checked and parity bits are added as wrappers. Unwanted frequencies are weeded out, while for digital, parity or error checker checks to see if the packet is received without any loss. Electric signal is passed to the speaker where it is converted into sound waves, while digital signal is fed into a DAC and converted into sound waves. Now, the converted sound waves will be heard by the human ear. Another comparison between analog and digital signal can be seen through this table. You can pause this video to read the comparison in detail. Emphasis is given on the signal. For analog signal, it is a continuous signal which represents physical measurements, while digital signals are discrete time signals generated by digital modulation. Analog is denoted by sine waves, while digital is denoted by square waves. Analog is using continuous range of values to represent information, while digital uses discrete or discontinuous values to represent information, like the binary system: 1, 0, 1, 1. 1 represents on and 0 represents off. Example: human voice in air, analog electronic devices, while for digital, computers, CDs, DVDs, and other digital electronic devices. For data transmission, analog is subjected to deterioration by noise, while digital can be noise immune. In response to noise, analog most likely or more likely to get affected, reducing accuracy, while digital is less affected since noise response are analog in nature. Digital signal is used in computer systems operated by binary codes, while analog signal is used in telephone system, wherein sound is converted to electric signal and sent through optic fibers in the cables of telephones. There are cases wherein analog and digital signal are used. For instance, the GMA Affordabox and ABS-CBN TV Plus use analog and digital signal. How does an analog to digital box work? First, the digital signal from the broadcasting station is received by the antenna in our houses. The digital signal enters the converter box, and the converter box changes the digital signal to the analog signal. Then the analog signal goes to the television for us to see our favorite TV program. This figure shows how noise affects analog and digital signal. When analog signal is generated together with noise and travels, meeting obstructions and fades, once it enters the analog amplifier, the signal is amplified, but the noise is also amplified. Unlike digital signal, when the digital signal is produced together with noise and fades as obstructions are met, once the signal, the faded signal, enters the digital regenerator, the signal is restored. However, the noise is removed. Another difference between analog signal and digital signal is in terms of distance from the source. Both signals weaken over distance. However, for analog signal, if signal is weak, picture is weak. Lots of static will be seen on the TV screen. While for digital signal, as long as the TV is receiving a signal, picture is perfect. Another difference is in terms of coverage. From the source, the analog signal coverage area is affected by distance. As the receiver moves away from the source, the signal becomes weaker, and the analog signal becomes harder to hear through noise at the edge of the communication range. While for digital signal coverage area, as long as the receiver is within the coverage area, the digital signal is still clearly heard at the fringes of the coverage footprint. Finally, in terms of television broadcasting, the old analog signal can only have a single television channel, while for digital multicast signal, multiple compressed digital channels can be observed on the TV screen. Most of our smart TVs have this feature. These are the references used in this video lesson.